Yes, yes, indeed, on a turbulent Tuesday. This is the DX21. And we're getting down with the DX21 presents the live stream. And we're live on the line this evening.
Hey, it's Brianna.
Oh, Breezy Strong. How is it? How is it this week?
Excellent. Black excellence. Overall excellence. Can't complain.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was actually thinking about you yesterday because I went to MoMA.
Awesome. Beyond.
Not too far from the fortified Trump Towers. A matter of fact, there's this one thing that I want to show. There's this whole psychedelic room where they would go and, do their psychedelics at, and this room is like bananas if you were to see it. And actually, one of these days, I want to recreate that type of vibe in my own space.
The Museum of Art and Design had a similar exhibit this summer that I went to. Very psychedelic, very trippy. So that's always like a crowd favorite. People love those kind of rooms. I know the room you're talking about.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to name drop, but when I went into the museum, the minute I stepped in, I look up on the wall, and it's like one of my peoples is in the photo montage. Amongst the Keith Harings and the Basquiat's and the Andy Warhols. I see my man, and I'm like, I'm not trying to drop any names. I will not confirm or deny. We're trying to be on our own strength here.
He's the OG. He's like a mystery guy in that world. Like, people don't know how submerged he really was in, like, the downtown 80s art scene. I have so much respect for him. I love him.
I'm not confirming or denying that this is the person you were talking about, but I do know that person does have that respect, and he was a man who moved behind the scenes, made what they call paradigm shifts in culture.
Exactly.
There was a reason that Blondie bigs him up in Rapture.
That video. Yeah, and he keeps those memories alive. So he's very important for the culture.
It was just cool to just like, I know this person. And that's like the second time that I've had, and I'm realizing that the longer you've been around and the more you move through circles, the more you're going to run into seeing your contemporaries moving into the annals of history in the institutional form.
Agreed.
So I heard somebody else creeping in. Is that Chloe?
Is that Chloe? Good evening. I was letting you guys get your art on.
Yeah, we're getting the art on.
I just got back from my man's mother's place, and
so your insight with the fam then, eh? Going to visit relatives and whatnot.
I guess the future.
Well, you going over there? She's just basically trying to make sure that you cook the way she cooks, so you can keep the man happy or something like that. She's not trying to force her recipes on you, is she?
No, it's just transition with our life. Like, we might be moving up there, like to where she lives uptown. She lives in Harlem, actually. They're probably close to you.
Oh, you were dealing with people that hiding that and whatnot? How'd you know that this ain't the honeycomb hideout, and I didn't want people to know that I was in Harlem?
Haven't you mentioned that you're in Harlem? You mentioned
I don't know. Maybe
Harlem
I have.
all the time.
Well, if I did mention I was in Harlem, maybe I'm not want to mention it tonight. We might have a turnover listeners.
Okay. Well, some secret place uptown.
Yeah, I'm in Harlem, but Harlem is a big place, and but then again,
exactly, could be anywhere.
And yeah, but nowadays in Harlem, black people stand out.
Oh yeah, that's true. Are you still in your same place? We're not going to say any street names.
I'm still in the same place. The places yes.
That's a really good spot. I'm happy that you're still there.
Yeah, I've been here 16 years now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wow. We stay in contact during the day on a group text. We basically send group texts back and forth. Things get generated in there. But one thing that came of interest when we were submitting topics was this whole concept of black fragility. I mean, you want to talk about that? What do you mean by black fragility? I think it was Breezy who introduced that topic.
What I mean by black fragility is certain black people perpetuating certain stereotypes that are inaccurate and basically playing victim versus powering their thoughts. If we keep perpetuating the same narrative, the same woe is me, how in the fuck do we grow? We don't. We stay in the same place. But on the flip, I realize that those thoughts and people who think like that have been here for a while now, and they're not going to go anywhere. So they're probably just going to have to be on their own island, and then, other people do their own thing.
Oh, you talking about exiling motherfuckers?
I mean, yeah, they've exiled themselves, but they're all together. It's like the Alcatraz of groupthink. And I'm just not with this shit. Like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to be around it. And it's self-defeating, and it's totally the antithesis of everything that I'm about. And I hate this shit.
But you do have to realize that there is some truth to it. You cannot deny that well, I mean,
I can deny whatever the fuck I don't agree with, and that will shape my reality.
Okay, well, I mean, there's always the individual consciousness, and then there's the collective consciousness, and then there's the individual reality, and then there's the collective reality. I think that's one of the concepts that was
group, and there's groupthink, and then there's the independent thinker.
When I was watching Power the other day, it made me think about something. There was an episode where they had Jamie, who's the lead character, Ghost, on the stand, and they were doing a preparation for him to be put on the stand. So the lawyer was basically pressing his buttons and seeing if he can keep his cool. And then when he lost his cool, the lawyer was like, yeah, see, there it is. You just lost the case. That's the black aggressive male that they've been looking for, and that they have stereotyped you and think that you will be. And it made me think that a lot of the black men, to a certain extent, we've been conditioned or have to be conditioned to not really be ourselves if we want to be able to move through society, so to speak. It's like we've been conditioned to keep our true selves under wraps because we don't want to feed into some stereotype. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's a sad thing, because a black woman and a white woman can have the same reaction to something, but the black woman will be called angry. And that's bullshit.
Yeah, but you just said that the whole woe is me thing. I understand that, but the conditions that might lead to that woe is me thing are the same types of mindsets that lead to the situation where our perceptions are thrown off, and we sometimes are not able to be authentically who we are supposed to be because
which is why I don't argue for my limitations. I don't argue for any limitations. So
you don't care. You're just a bulldoze. You just step in and said bulldoze. I don't care if you clutch your fucking purse. I'm a BB.
I'm also from the thought process that, and a lot of people don't like to hear this, whatever you are attracting is a mirror of your thoughts. Everything is law of attraction based for me. So while, yes, those are false narratives projected onto black people at times, on the flip, I don't believe that I have to be victim to that.
There are characteristics and behaviors that people may have, whether they choose to be different from that, that's their individual choice. But there are certain trends, there are certain behaviors, there are certain things that are characterized with different types of people. Be it your upbringing, be it because black people have gone through slavery and we've been oppressed and we've been through so much throughout history that certain things that are never addressed, that are just bottled up, that cause black people as a community to act a certain way. And like you're saying that, yes, if a white person does something, it's seen one way, but a black person does something, it's negative. That's still how they see it. Whether you choose to believe that or choose to see it that way, that's the person's individuality, that's the person's individual choice, but there's a way that society still deems certain people.
There's always going to be people who have their own.
It's important not to ascribe to it, is my main thing.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I, for one, have to be very careful with the type of things I engage in, because once I enter that plane, it can go left or right. It's like if it's around me and it's some bullshit, I'm going to call it out.
I vibe with you as far as the whole Abraham thing. I mean, actually, you were one of the people besides my sister who helped initiate me into the whole Abraham Hicks type of thing. And I can understand, but even within that paradigm, there was certain things described that a person's path is a person's path, and we can't really make a comment on a person finding their way because their way is their way. But I guess what you're saying is that you're not trying to let their way rub off on you.
That, and I'm not going to let you speak for me. If you say statistically black women, right there I got to shut you down because I'm a black woman, and that's some bullshit what you're saying because it doesn't apply to me. So don't use parts to represent a whole.
Well, let me ask you, Chloe, what does statistics mean to you, Chloe?
Statistics are studies, they're findings, they're just research that people have done based on different groups. Statistics to me is just like, okay, if I'm trying to find out about something or if I'm inquiring about something, I'm going to read up on everything about it.
But you have to be careful with that. You know why? Because black-on-black crime is a statistic, but it's really not black-on-black crime. It's really proximity crime. If a white person kills another white person, the narrative is completely changed. It's not white-on-white crime. So you have to be cognizant of the things they try to.
Right, you can be discerning, but the thing is that if something is happening, we can't just bypass it because it's in the statistic. If somebody if there's something going on in the community, something needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. So if people are out there trying to get some attention to it, and here are the statistics, and here's what's going on, it's to get attention to the problem.
Yeah, but the thing is, I agree with some. I'm not going to say I fully agree with some statistics, but what you have to really be mindful of is, one, you're being fed this information. You're not going out and doing the research yourself, so you really don't know if it's true or not. Secondly, there's a lot of gray area when it comes to statistics. They're not going to include that gray area, so I would not rely too heavily on them.
Right. It's not just relying solely on statistics. There's other bodies of work that people can read to find out about a certain situation,
well, we're talking
or
about
people that you just know, like you're saying, black women, different things on black women. I know a lot of black women, and certain things that I'll research is things that are bothering my black female friends. And it's like, okay, so you read up on it, so you're finding literature about it, then you're finding statistics about it. So it's like, okay, so my friends are not just crazy. It's a thing. It's actually a thing that's out there, and there's stats behind it, and there's literature behind it. So these are things that I'll look up.
I got a super chat. Let's go to super chat real quick. Big Red from the Bronx says, what are the statistics of how many people are falling asleep listening to this show?
Oh, wow. Wow.
Ask your mama.
Blackamore.
What are the statistics of the amount of books he read this past year? If he's bored, then he's asleep. Wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up, my guy.
Let me go on my little rant right here about keeping them woke. I'm sick and tired. I mean, I'm as conscious as the next person, and I'm very, 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 very glad that people are awakening and getting woke. And I hope that you hashtag stay woke. But some of y'all are taking it to extremes. Now, mind you, some of y'all are just hopping on the bandwagon. I've been running in these so-called conscious community before it was even a freaking conscious community for the past 22 years.
Fact.
Yeah, I'm letting my age be known. But anyway, this morning, for instance, to show you the madness that's happening with this fucking conscious community and it's becoming conscious comedy, I say, good morning. Somebody said back to me, who died? What's good about morning? And so I'm like, well, I was just trying to say hello. Yes, hell is low, isn't it? And I was like, I'm not even going to feed into this because I'm having a blessed day. Why are you having a blessed day? Why are you going to be less? Why don't you be more? It's like you can't even fucking have a conversation. Every day you come out, they're correcting you. I'm dedicated my life to. No, why did you dedicate? You should livicate. Where you going this weekend? It's not a weekend. It's a strong end. Come on. Mm-hmm. You can't even fucking talk.
I saw a meme yesterday. I saw a meme yesterday, and someone was like, yo, you think there's Hotep dogs walking around like, yo, we used to be wolves? So I do think that people just sometimes with the whole woke shit, they just want to be mad. Like, you just want to be mad. You don't even want to really find a solution. You just want to find a problem with every fucking thing.
Now, mind you, there is some science to it. There's no doubt that there is word sound power, that concept that the Rastafari rung all over the place. Words do have power. Thoughts are things. And as people who are Abraham or grammar slammers, you understand the power of the word and power of thoughts. But, I mean, come on. We don't – you said you got to walk around watching every single word you're saying and make sure it has a positive vibe or charge that you're using. You're saying down press instead of up press because there's nothing uplifting about being oppressed. I mean, you have to watch everything you say? Really? Isn't that like hamper a free expression of thoughts? I mean, you understand the vibration because, first of all, if we go on to that point of view, we're not talking in our native tongue to begin with. So it's not about – that's why I kind of respect when people – it's like when we talk with the Pato, we put the accent, we're basically putting our tones onto this particular language to make it feel more familiar to us. That's why, like, if you listen to a Jamaican accent, a real hard Jamaican accent, and you put that accent next to a Cockney accent, you know, the gutter British accent, it's the same thing, but it only has like a little bit of African, it has African overtones to it, but the only difference between a Cockney accent and a Jamaican accent is the Africanness to it.
Right. All of the grime rappers, they have a patois influence, like Skepta.
Oh, the grime ones, the one who go them dudes.
Exactly, Skepta. All of them.
Yeah, I can see that now. Now that you pointed that out.
He's actually African. He's Nigerian. So what you said is spot on.
I'm looking for ways for us to connect, not for us to disconnect. And it's very good that they're trying to change the polarity and make a positive use of the language and everything. But come on, the reason why more people are not getting woke is they don't want to fuck with you guys. They don't want to fuck with us. They don't want to hear that shit. I mean, the same thing, holds true in that Minister Society shit when he was jacking the dude and he was like, "What, you trying to kick knowledge?" No, you don't have to kick it. You have to let it, flow and then let it be absorbed. You can't. You gotta be easy with it. Come in and find misses, they say. But also getting back to that movie, you see that. In the long run, his karma caught up with him. If you ever saw Minister Society, that's another. And I'm sorry for jumping from topic to topic, but motherfuckers be watching the movies, but don't really get the lesson from the movie. They only listen to the parts that they want. Like everybody was running around talking about The World Is Mine, about that Scarface movie, and everybody wanted to be Scarface, but that motherfucker ended up face down in a puddle of blood, in a pool of blood. Y'all don't remember that part. And then they talk about conspiracy theories. You're just paranoid. You're talking all those conspiracy theories. Well, if you saw the fucking movie, Jerry Fletcher, the character that was played by Mel Gibson in the movie Conspiracy Theory, alongside or opposite Julia Roberts, that character, all his conspiracy theories were spot on. He was right. The crazy man knew exactly what the fuck was going on, and that's why they made him look crazy, because they didn't want you to think he was credible.
Right. That's
so if y'all going to use terms, y'all got to make sure that y'all know the context. And if anybody calls you a fucking Uncle Tom, say thank you. Because if you read the fucking book, then you know that Uncle Tom was the hero.
That kind of reminds me of what you said earlier.
Was the motherfucker who was wrong. Sambo was a bad dude. You call me a Sambo, that's an insult. You call me Uncle Tom, that's a compliment.
That's what I mean by groupthink bullshit. People take something and run with it. If I hear a quote being used, I'm going to fucking research the quote to see if I'm using it right. I'm not just going to run with that shit.
True indeed, especially in this era of fake news.
God damn. I just want to ask something about stay woke. Does that term or that phrase lose its meaning now that everyone is using it?
No. That's another thing that I hate when people say a cliche. A cliche becomes a cliche because it has meaning. That's why it's overused. The only time a cliche becomes a cliche and it uses its potency is if you're a writer or a creator and you're using that in your work to as a crutch. However, if you made a book, I think if you made a poem or a book and you use entirely cliches, then you're making it creative. So, I mean, it's all in how you use it. But a cliche is a disrespected proverb.
I think it's unfortunate that there are so many people trying to pull the wool over our eyes that we even have to stay woke in the first place.
But you know what's so funny about that was this week, a couple of days ago, I made a little post about that same expression. You know what I said? It's easy to pull the wool over the eyes of a sheep. They live in it.
Facts.
They live in it. Most people are what they call sheeple, are they not? The masses are them asses. So that's how it's going. I mean, that whole sheeple and the masses are the masses, I can't claim credit for that, but I can claim credit for the fact that I said it's easy to pull the wool over the eyes of sheep because they live in it.
Indeed.
And, I wanted to reference that stupid-ass comment talking about what are the statistics of how many people fell asleep, whatever the fuck they said. Sometimes what you need to hear for the motherfucking culture, like, maybe that shit might not be the most entertaining, but you still got to hear that shit. Like, I can't make, police brutality entertaining. I just got to give you the fucking facts. So, don't be bored by some shit just because it's not, whatever you're used to when your brain is on goddamn cruise control.
Well, let's go with a super chat. Speaking of which, we have hashtag Dick Down. He says, original black man. Isn't Abraham a white bitch? You listening to a white bitch? How is that staying woke?
Woke is only about being black. Abraham is an entire entity, so I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Well, it is a white person who's channeling, right?
Y'all racist? Like, okay. I don't hate white people, so I can't join you on that.
Chloe, you familiar with this?
Yeah, I know Esther Hicks and Abraham and Jerry Hicks and all those people.
Should I, as an original black man, should I be subscribing to what she's talking about?
I guess if you don't subscribe to what a white person is telling you, if you're talking about staying woke, how do you know they're not pulling the wool over your eyes? That's what this person is asking. Though I don't discriminate that way, where it's like, okay, a white person says this, a black person says that, I should follow the black person just because I am black. But this person is asking you, who is unapologetically black, why are you listening to this white woman?
And that's why if you don't know, you shouldn't talk. Because Abraham, if you do listen to Abraham, they say, don't take our word for anything. Go out and live your own life and have your own experiences. So this is not something that's being pushed upon you. If you listen, you listen. If you don't, you don't.
That's what made me was magnetically attracted to the Nation of Gods and Earths, known as the 5 Percenters in most circles or a lot of circles. As a person who grew up in organized religion, when there were answers that couldn't be questioned, when I prefer to have an answer, a question that cannot be answered, there was a situation, that's not mine also, there was a situation where I just got to a point where it just didn't make sense. From straight off the bat, the Bible, I think we not even talking about this the other day, straight off the jump, the Bible is the fact-checking is off the hook. From Genesis 1, it tells you that light and day.
It's written by.
But they could have named. Nobody did no fucking fact checking. Come on. This book has been around for thousands of years. Nobody saw the discrepancy from the fact that light and darkness was on the first day, but the fucking sun was made on the fourth. Nobody saw that shit. And in the first chapter, so from day one, there's problems with it. Motherfuckers in the Marvel universe know that there's differences in continuity. Any fucking comic book nerd knows the keeping continuity and consistency in the universe. So Marvel is more on point than the fucking Bible. DC Comics is more gangster than the fucking Bible.
And let's not forget there's a New Testament and an Old Testament. So y'all remixing this shit. Who did Jesus remix that shit? God? Like, no, it's a fucking man.
The black man is God. Anyway, that's what got me into the whole 5%er thing, because one of the things that I was told when I first came over there is we take nothing on face value. Everything is subject to show and prove and must come out right and exact. So I applauded the fact that a person told me something, but it's like, yo, but you don't take it on face value, don't take my word for it, you go and research it. That's not the tradition I came from. The tradition I came from was we are interpreting the word of the Lord, and this is our interpretation, and you got to get with the shit.
And that keeps you down, because you can never be perfect enough for God. And you're always like, I notice in Christianity, like
the mystery God, like, you can only be perfect. But that's not our tradition. Oh, well, when you put it, I'm not being all speaking for your truth, but that is not our tradition from ancient times. I don't think that's.
People gotta realize. See, this problem with that in a lot of religions is there's a separation between us and God. When you really have to realize, like, you are God. There's a connection. There's not a disconnect there. So if you are made in God's image, then why would you think like less of yourself?
Chloe, you're awful quiet there.
I was just letting you guys rant. My thing on religion is just that Of course, yes. They tell you that you are different from God or lesser from God. It's just their mind control. That's how they control people. There's a lot of flaws with religion. There's a lot of flaws with the Bible. Yes, why is there a New Testament and an Old Testament? Did God make a mistake and is like, oh yeah, let's redo this and make a New Testament? The whole Bible was written by people who weren't even around when Jesus was around, people who weren't even around when all of the stuff that they're talking about happened. So why is the Bible given so much credit? I don't know. I see it as a book of stories, and these are good things to kind of live your life by. If you take the inspirational stories in there, a lot of other stuff I don't listen to. It's just like, nah, I guess I pick and choose. That's what that's a lukewarm Christian or whatever. So I pick and choose what I listen to from the Bible, and I pick and choose what I get from religion. If you're going to be inspirational and try to uplift me, okay, I'll listen to you. If you're going to sit there and, I'm damned for whatever, I'm going to hell. No, I have no time for that.
Right.
But it's all mind control. It's to control people. Way back when they started all this Christianity and everything, it's to control people. They were just like people are going to get out of hand if we don't sit there and try to basically mind fuck them. It's just like you just have to control these people so they do as we say. And that's where religion stems from. It's just a control. It's a tool to control the masses.
Every time I hear that terminology, mind fuck, for some strange reason, I think of, what is his name nowadays? Puffy, Sean Combs, Diddy. Is he Brother Love now? What the fuck is his name now?
he went back to Diddy.
Yeah.
I thought he was Brother Love. Didn't they say his name was fucking Brother Love or some shit?
Yeah, he did.
I think
Isn't his name Brother Love now?
No, he went back to Diddy. But
how long was he Brother Love? But didn't he just change his name? But he only was Brother Love for 2 days or some shit?
It was a joke, my man. It was
what?
A joke. It was a joke.
Oh, it was a joke.
Kidding.
Okay. All right.
I guess I don't have publicity because he had a show coming out right after they announced that he was going to be on that show, The Four, or whatever it's called, the reality show where they look for recording artists. So
all right, but that was a good publicity stunt. He definitely generated some publicity with that. But the reason why I mentioned him is because when everybody says mind fuck, it makes me think of that whole scene and go get him to the Greek when he was explaining what a mind fuck was. I like that shit. I like, I had respected his gangster in that scene. But going back to the super chats. JJ Dynamite says, that dude, whoever the dude is, that wool and sheep thing, you stole that shit. Brianna, you can come and read to me too. And Chloe, you sound like you have some good lips.
Oh, damn, okay.
Okay.
But you did say that you stole that. So
no, I said that I stole the sheeple, and I stole the other thing, but the whole pulling the wool over the eyes of sheep is easy because they live in it. That's mine.
Well, somebody said no idea is original, so.
Oh yeah, that's true. But that happened to me recently. I mean, I had this whole thing about the world is mine, MINE, and then KRS-One fucking dropped an album with that title.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Gun says, y'all are getting too deep. Where's the fuck shit? Where's the fuck shit? Brianna, do you have some fuck shit in your mind that you can share with Big Guns? Well, I got some fuck shit. Let's go to social media madness. That's one of our segments we have here. Social media madness. This is basically us finding memes or little quotes or something, and we just evaluate them. In this one, I have two, matter of fact. One, I saw a meme that had a picture of Idris Elba and Flavor Flav, and the text was, the difference between a compliment and sexual harassment. It had a picture of Idris Elba alongside Flavor Flav, and the text was the difference between a compliment and a sexual harassment. What are your thoughts, ladies?
Whatever. That's not cool. Like, as fine as Idris Elba is, he could sexually harass someone too. That has no bearing how a man looks, because there's some fine ass men out there that are rapists. But I'm gonna let Chloe say her piece. But let's not forget, I wanted to talk about Cardi B. for the culture.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to get on to that after I do this other meme. Let me hear what you have to say, Chloe, on this social media madness.
I think there's a little bit of truth to that because, you know, when someone's attractive or if you feel in somebody and they pay you a compliment or they say something that might have a sexual undertone to it, you might not take it as negatively as someone that you're not attracted to, such as the Idris Elba and Flavor Flav. Yeah, the Flavor Flav comes and say, hey, baby, whatever. No, that you're harassing me, leave me alone. Idris Elba says it, you know what, oh, that's nice. You gave me a compliment. That's cute.
Flavor Flav gives mad bitches, though. Like, that's the crazy thing.
He does, but does he get them because of his money or does he get them because they're really attracted to his personality? I don't know. Or
he has a magnetism to him, though. He has charisma as a motherfucker. He has that charisma. So, you know, sometimes it's not about the surface, it's about the spirit that animates him. And you cannot deny that Flavor Flav has hella spirit.
And not for nothing.
Okay.
Damn, this is going to sound fucked up because I really don't like talking about people. But fuck it. Idris Elba fucked K. Michelle. So his stock went down after that to me. Like, I'm
wow.
I judge a nigga, like, if I see the bitches he fucked, like, oh, you fucked her, like, nah, I'm Gucci. Like, I'm not even going to go there because you don't treat your dick like gold, my guy, and I can't rock with you.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, but then again, you can't judge the book you can't take that on face value because I'm sure that every dude has, you know.
I'm taking it based on how she acts publicly. Like, a lot of the shit she does is déclassé, and I'm just not with it. Like, she says little slick shit. She says little slick shit. Like, I don't care if she means it or not, which is why I hate that fucking SZA song. Oh, I should just fuck your man. Well, if you could fuck my man, then you can have my man. Like, that shit is not cute. And you're really, like, sis, you're, like, almost 40. Like, really? That's how you giving it up? Come on.
Wow.
I don't like that shit.
I was going to go a certain direction, but let me try to get it back about this whole thing about the harassment versus compliment. What exactly is an unwanted sexual advance? I mean, isn't that the whole concept of dating? I mean, because
any fucking thing. Don't walk up to me and say shit sexual if you want to get to know me. If you don't know me,
no. But the whole point of the matter is, how do I know if it's unwanted if I don't fucking do it?
That's
the whole point.
No, it's unwarranted because you do not say something sexual to someone you don't already have a sexual rapport with.
Exactly.
But I mean, how do you get the sexual rapport? My whole point is you don't know if it's an unwanted.
By getting to know somebody, you talk to them. Excuse me, miss. Excuse me, ma'am. Let me talk.
Yes.
You know, can I talk to you for a minute? Instead of just like, oh, hey, baby, come sit on my face.
The whole point of the matter is that no. So it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter if they say hi first, and then because my whole point is you don't know if it's going to be unwanted until you do it. So technically, even if you know the person and you're trying to get to know them, the first time, if you're rejected, technically that was an unwanted sexual advance.
You don't get a vibe from people?
You have to, first of all,
I know is check this out, Chloe, Brianna.
You have to
let's check this out.
Do it.
No, but the whole point of the matter is, I know from personal experience, there's been plenty of time that I propositioned chicks and it was refused, and I kept consistent, and I asked 9 times and number 10 was a yes.
Why is she being consistent?
Why are you propositioning people you don't have that type of rapport with? You have to get to that point.
You have to get the rapport, but I mean, how do you get the rapport?
I don't care if she's
by being her friend, by talking to her, getting to know her.
But I'm saying that. But listen, Chloe, Brianna, hold on. Let's slow this down. Even if I am their friend, even if I've gone to their friend, you're not going to know if your advance is going to be refused or accepted until you make it. That's my point.
First of all, it's not. You don't put the fucking cart before the horse. You don't present someone with a sexual
That's what I just
advance.
said. Even if you are a friend and you got to know the person, you're not going to know if you take that step, if they're going to accept it until you do it. So what I'm trying to say is that technically it's a slippery slope. Anybody can say that it's an unwanted sexual advance.
But it depends how you're approaching these people and what are you saying. Are you saying, hey, would you like to go out sometime or something like that? Or are you propositioning them to come to your house for Netflix and chill? Like, what are you saying to people?
You have to.
That's what it comes down to.
I know you don't really believe this. I know you don't really believe this. That
No, I don't believe shit, first of all, because there's a lie right in the middle of believe. It's B-E, lie, V-E. So I don't fucking believe shit I know and know not. And if I know, I should know better. And the thing is, I just think that it's a slippery slope. Yeah, there's some things that are outright.
You need to stop. You need to stop. You're being very socially irresponsible right now. If you have a female friend and you two are just platonic, don't say anything sexual. Okay?
Exactly.
That's the whole point. No. The whole point is, how do you know? No.
If you want to get to know her sexually, you have to ask her out first or say, would you like to be more than friends? That's not sexual.
Exactly. Yes.
And so we have to watch what we say. I mean, come on. I mean, so I have to sit down.
Yes, you have to watch what you say. Okay, what are you, like a 2-year-old? You have to watch what you say.
You have to sit down and sketch down every single word and make sure that you. I mean, what happened to being fucking honest and straightforward? I'm digging you. Can I dig in you?
You're honest. Okay, so you're honest and you're going to tell her that you want to have sex with her and she's not feeling you. So, yes, that could be seen as sexual harassment because...
Oh, come on. I can understand. No, I mean, because the reason why I'm saying this is because there's plenty of times that I'm rejected. But then if you give up, then then that's one thing. I can understand. My whole point is there's been plenty of times when they said 9 times no, and then the 10th was yes.
Well, you know what? You keep rolling that dice, my guy, and hopefully you stay out of
how it works out for you.
Well, before we run out of time, what's going on with this Cardi B situation?
Well, she was nominated for 2 Grammys. I think Song of the Year and Best Rap Performance. Song of the Year, whatever, that's dead. It's a dub on that. Don't even like the song. Best Performance, okay, well, what's an MC? They're supposed to move the crowd, right? Her shows are lit. Her shows are lit. I have to give that to her. Like, if I'm going to have to choose between a Nicki Minaj show and a Cardi B show, I'm going to choose the Cardi B show because the shit is super turned. But how do we get off giving her Song of the Year? Like, that shit's not even popping like that.
I think her song
like
is kind of lazy if I wanted
right
to.
Now.
Yeah.
I mean, she's everywhere.
I'm not a person who definitely is not a person who's so-called, quote-unquote, hating on the next generation. Nah, there's too much shit out there. There's more deserving than that. I think it's just the moment. I think it's a popularity on that particular show that got her popping, and you can't knock the hustle and you can't knock the engine behind her. And I don't think that it did not help her. I don't think that it hurt that she's slapping skins with one of the Migos.
It doesn't. I'll give her best rap performance.
And I also definitely don't think that it's hurting her case that she's basically putting out an anthem for those on the 5. That's basically what's really pushing it forward. It's a rallying, a raising a flag for the people who like the red bottoms.
I'll give her best rap performance. I will not give her best rap song. I don't even like the song.
I'd give her best newcomer or some shit like that, I mean, nomination, not necessarily the win.
But is she the best newcomer or best rap song? I don't even know how she got so popular, how she blew up like that. It was like she was what, on hip-hop, Love and Hip-Hop or something like that?
She knows how to hustle, and like I said, she has a fucking nation behind her.
And here's the thing. I was a Cardi B fan before, when she was just a stripper hoe, as she would say. So she had a very big following on Instagram just because she was funny and she was authentic. So I think her authenticity also helps her.
And that's what my sister said. That's what my sister said.
Like Nicki Minaj is not a likable person. She's like a bitch.
Because she's made. Nicki Minaj is like a made product, where Cardi B is. It's like that girl, like it could be your friend. Everyone knows like a Cardi B somewhere.
So you're saying the underdog factor is like working in her favor.
Or just the authentic factor. Like she's
down to earth.
For mad long. She kept her teeth fucked up for mad long. It could not have been me. I tell you that right now.
Well, I can say this much. I've been doing the knowledge to these young cats coming up, and I'm not going to start making comments until I really have a chance to really absorb, because I'm not a person who's just going to say, well, I saw this dude and he'd make a good meme, because I've seen him getting that Tekashi 6ix9ine strong just based on his look without really, doing the knowledge of the science that's behind that. But then, once I started digging deeper, it's funny that all these skeletons start falling out of people's closets, but that's another conversation for another show. But I want to ask one more thing before we come and bring it to a close. Getting back on some social media madness, I saw another friggin' post that said, I'm not about to pay all of your bills and be faithful. Pick one.
Oh, okay.
Well, guess what? I'm not going to attract that kind of man, so I don't even need to answer that. That's just silly. That's just silly. That is just silly. I'm not going to suck all of your dick. I'm just going to suck half that shit.
Oh, word.
So stupid. Just dumb. And, you know, women are quite capable of paying their bills nowadays at that. For real. So, seriously. Like, come on. That's just silly.
Well,
let's get to the last super chat before we get out of here. Oh, come on, Chloe. Is that Chloe speaking?
Yes, I said that post is for a certain type of
all
woman.
Shit stops. When super chat is said, that means all shit stops. We got to recognize these listeners who are putting up their hard-earned bucks to support DX21 Presents the live stream. Brianna and Chloe, or Breezy Strong, and the Caribbean Queen. Nigga Loaded says, what you know about that 5? I thought you was 7. Red Boy says, DX, it's a pleasure to hear you, long-time listener since the Stormbook Wild days. I don't think too many people know about that type of situation because we're dealing with mostly millennials here, and that's why we have, and we're pleasured to, or very honored to have Brianna Strong representing that particular generation. But you have said specifically on this show that you don't fit into a mold or statistic or demographic or roll with any type of group thing. So are you really a good representation of the millennials, or you just happen to fall in there because you're a timeless spirit that happened to drop in a certain year?
I'm just fucking awesome, and that's all anybody needs to know.
Your humility is just overwhelming, you know.
So I've heard.
Well, let's get out of here. We're hitting the knowledge hour, as we say in the cipher, which is word is born and bond is life, or some people say that it's about making sure that we're not looking for no mystery guards, and we also had touched on that. But we'll be back with Breezy Strong and Chloe going all night long at some point. And until then, I'm going to say, as I always say, and it might change, but for now, it's so much ass to kick, and I only have 2 feet. All right, y'all, we're out of here. Peace.
Yeah, peace.